Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CSGO Clutch Podcast, sponsored by Prize Picks. My name is Adam Cohn, I am your host. Returning here with the CSGO Clutch for this Day 3 Group B edition here for ESL Pro League Season 14. As a reminder, hit that like button down below, leave a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way there you all know every single time one of these contests are out. We have a $30,000 Clutch Special, Large Field GPP, $10,000 to first tournament here. And that is the one I am previewing today. And we're going to get right into the slate here. Virtus Pro versus Sinners. I'm just going to start off by saying this. All 6 of these teams can win on this slate. This is a very open slate. What I mean by that is if we take a look at our pinnacle betting odds here, Virtus Pro come in as a minus 162 favorite. Sinners Esports comes in as a plus 133 underdog. OG came in as a minus 190 favorite. Force is as a plus 155 underdog. G2 came in as a minus 211 favorite, and Complexity a plus 171 underdog. I think any one of these teams can match. I think all 3 underdogs could upset the favorites. With that being said, let's get into this Virtus Pro versus Sinners. I'm going to start off on the Virtus Pro side of things. James $9,000, Yakindar at $8,000, Buster at $7,200, Kicker at $6,400, Sanji all the way down at $5,600. If I'm targeting anyone from Virtus Pro, I like James 1, Yakindar 2, Kicker 3, Buster 4, Sanji 5. I just think it's a James day. I really do. And I'm going to stick with that. On the Sinners Esports side of things, if I'm taking anyone here in an upset, it's going to be Neofrag 1, Shock 2, Oscar 3, Beastick 4, Zedeko 5. If we take a look at some of these Sinners stats here over the last 3 months of play, Oscar isn't on here, but Neofrag's plus 56, kill to death differential, Shock a plus 68, kill to death differential, Beastick is minus 80, and Zedeko is minus 113. Even if we just take a look over the last month, which is only 5 maps, which it is Pro League, Shock is the only one positive with plus 1. Oscar in at 0. Neofrag at minus 7. Zedeko at minus 5. And Beastick at minus 19. Too small of a sample size. I'm going to take a look at this. I would target Neofrag 1 and again Shock 2. Pricing is as follows, ladies and gentlemen. Oscar 7,800. Neofrag 7,000. Shock 6,200. Beastick 6,000. And Zedeko is at 5,000. I like both sides of this game, and if I'm playing to win this large field GPP, I don't mind taking a shot on Neofrag and Shock. Heading on here to game 2 on this slate, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Head over to prizepicks.com, use the promo code CLUTCH. Again, promo code CLUTCH, new subscribers and depositors. New depositors will get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100 when you plug in that code. And you can follow the CSGO Clutch Pod on Twitter as well, at CSGO Clutch Pod. Follow me on Twitter, at AdamWX21. Follow Dan on Twitter, at WanDelch, WANDELCH. Second game here on the slate is OG versus Fours. This is going to be a little faster podcast than normal, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, Manitou's been absolutely smashing in this event. Absolutely think he is someone firmly in consideration for my core play of the slate. I kind of really like the Force side of this though, but if I'm going to play chalk on one side, it's probably going to be OG. Haven't decided where I want to go yet for my large field GPPs, but I'm just going to say that I like Mantou at 8,800. I like Valde at 8,200 second. I'd probably go at Flames third at 6,800. Nico bringing up fourth at 5,400. And Alexi B at 6,200. Now on the Fours side of things, Fours have looked good. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Fours are in fact 2-0. We can take a look here real quick. Let's go over here to overview. I believe Fours are 2-0. They are 2-0. OG and Fours both 2-0. One team after this game is in fact going to be 2-1, and one's going to 3-0. OG have been really good throughout this event. I'm going to go on the Force side of things here by saying I'm going to go with Zordy as my favorite play from the Force side of things, followed up by Flit, Jerry, Kensei at 4,800, and Almazer at 5. I think Kensei is going to be very chalky at 4,800, and if I can get up to Jerry, and hopefully Jerry has a good game, I like that at 5,800 as well. Alright, moving on here to the third game on the slate. G2 versus Complexity. Pricing here is a little more interesting for G2. Nico 9,200, Hunters at 8,600, Amanek at 7,400, Nexus 6,600, Jax right now 5,800. What I mean by interesting is we know Nexus can go off in any game. 6,600. I feel like that's right for him. Amanek at 7,400. Yeah, he's been a better oppa, but I'd really like to see Amanek maybe more in that 6,000 range. But I feel 7,400 is good for him in this matchup. It's a matter of who you're going to want to play. You playing Nico or you playing Hunter? Take your pick. Are you playing both? I don't mind stacking both here in this matchup at all. I'd prefer Nico 1, Hunter 2. I'm going to go actually Nexa 3rd, Amanek 4th, Jax 5th. I think Nexa could have a really good game here. Look, on the complexity side of things, complexity is without config for 4 to 6 weeks. He is out. I believe he's getting wrist surgery. If I'm not mistaken, let's actually head over to hltv.org. Let's take a look at that. I believe it's a wrist injury. Config. Yoo-hoo. Where's config at? Yep, so this came out back on August 17th. Config will be out of action for at least 4 to 6 weeks. He broke his right wrist, so config is going to be out of action for at least 4 to 6 weeks. NATO Sapix is the stand-in for this tournament for config. Let's talk about it. So we have Esatag as the highest price complexity player at 7,600 for reasons I don't quite understand. Blame F at 6,800. Why? JKS is 6,000, Poison 5,200, and NATO Sapix. The stand-in for config is 4,600. Look, if you want to take shots on complexity, I'm all for it. The guys I'd stick to: Blame F1, Esatag 2, JKS 3, Poison 4, and NATO Sapix 5. I like NATO Sapix's game, but just standing in for this team. Not the first time he's done it, but now there's a new coach. I just kind of sort of want to stay away from complexity. We can go back here to EPL. We go over here to events. Head over here to EPL season 14. Complexity is 1-1. So I think these are must-win games for G2 and VP. G2 are 0-2 and VP are 0-2. If you want to take that into account, then I like picking on the VP and G2 side of things. If you want to hedge and maybe go 4s. I think Sinners here can upset VP. I think they're my strongest upset on the slate. I feel strongest in. 4 is 2nd, Complexity 3rd. Complexity is broken right now. No config. Now Esatag's in. Doesn't this sound familiar? This sounds like when JKS was brought in and then Poison was out due to a medical reason. I'm glad he's back and feeling better. You know, I don't know what to do with Complexity right now. If you want to play them in anything above a 3-entry max, you want to play them in one lineup in your 3-entry max, I have no problem with that whatsoever. Alright, here we go. It's time for our core value large field GPP and favorite team stack segment. Core play for me is going to be Montu. Value play on this slate for me is going to be Jerry at 5,800 and Kensei at 4,800. Yeah, that's who I'm going to go with there. And for a large field GPP play, I'm going to go with the double Sinners duo of Neofrag and Shock. But I'm also going to give you another one of Hunter from G2 at 8,600. My favorite team stack for large field GPPs is Sinners, a 2-man stack. For an overall favorite team stack, it's OG. I think OG go 3-0 here. Let's head over to prizepicks.com. Let's get into our prize picks segment here. I refresh the screen. Dennis now coming in for Apex versus VP Prodigy at 38.5. I will take the under. Lamek, if you watched the Academy League during the tournament break, Lamek is a little up and down. So 37.5 I feel is a good line for him. I'm staying away from that. Halzerk versus the Copenhagen Flames at 38.5. It seems about a decent line for him. Let's take a look here. Twist for Galaxy Racer at 37.5 seems about right. Patsy versus Lil Mix at 40.5. Again, that seems about right. Man, I'd be more tempted on this Buster line to go over if I felt any confidence in Buster whatsoever. I just don't. I can say over on Buster. I don't mind the over on Shock at 34.5. Road J at 40.5 is okay. Who else we looking at here? Montu 39.5. If you really want to get risky, I'd say over on Montu. And Zordy 35.5. I like the over on Zordy as well. That is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, here for this edition of the CSGO Clutch Podcast. Remember, follow the CSGO Clutch Podcast on Twitter at CSGO Clutch Pod. You can follow me on Twitter at AdamWX21, and you can follow Dan on Twitter at Wandelch. Excuse me, Wandelch. That is going to do it for this edition of the CSGO Clutch Pod. I'll be back for another episode of the CSGO Clutch Podcast tomorrow for day 4 of Group B for ESL Pro League Season 14? 14! Season 14! Good luck on this slate. Hope one of you all out there listening win that $10,000. Latest, peoples.